A young boy in the mid-1980s wants nothing more than his very own Nintendo Entertainment System. Nearly every kid who grew up in the 80s has fond memories of Nintendo. A lot of those kids grew up to be adults who still have those Nintendos. A smaller group of those adults still have their Nintendos hooked up and play them on occasion. And then there's an even smaller group who never quit obsessing over Nintendo and spent the past 30 years acquiring every game ever released. I'm in the last group. So the fact that I absolutely love this movie should come as a surprise to absolutely no one. 8-Bit Christmas, based on the book of the same name, is a blatant ripoff of 80s Christmas classic A Christmas Story. We are hearing the story from the adult version of the main character, and this film is played by Neil Patrick Harris. But there are so many scenes and characters that are parallels to other characters from A Christmas Story. Most obviously the dad, who is always cussing and trying to fix something, played to perfection by Steve Zahn. Watching young Jake Doyle obsess over Nintendo brought back so many memories. He and his friends gather around a rich kid's front yard each morning in hopes that they are one of the few kids that he lets come inside and play Nintendo with him each day. Now, I never did that, but I once did play Nintendo through a kid's bedroom window because his mom wouldn't let us in the house, so we opened up the window, threw the controller out, and we stood in his backyard playing Nintendo. Jake devises plan after plan of how he can get a Nintendo of his very own after his parents say that he can't have one. 8-Bit Christmas features more Nintendo nostalgia than the 80s classic movie The Wizard, which is known as a commercial for Super Mario Bros. 3. And for whatever reason, in 8-Bit Christmas, the game that constantly is shown in the background in posters and in boxes is the game Narc, where you're an anti-drug law enforcement officer stopping bad guys. They never show gameplay of the game or even mention it. It's just always around. It's a strange choice for a game to be throughout the movie, but let me tell you, that is actually a really good Nintendo game. It's worth checking out. Now, there are some legitimate laugh-out-loud moments throughout this movie. All of the characters are a bit exaggerated, but when I think back on my childhood and all the hoops that I jumped through to get to peek at someone else playing Nintendo, this movie perfectly captures how our memories stretch and exaggerate those pivotal moments of our youth. Sure, playing and owning a Nintendo was a privilege, and if the Nintendo didn't exist, I would have still been able to have a very fulfilling and great life. But having that little gray box all of these years and its hundreds of diverse games just added so much more enjoyment to my childhood. 8-Bit Christmas isn't just a movie about Nintendo. It's a movie about family and childhood friendship, the strength and importance of memories of the people you love. It's about learning responsibility, having fun, and maybe getting into a little trouble. Every time I watch, I'm always shocked at how emotional I end up getting when things finally come together at the end. If you were a kid of the 80s, this is a must-see movie. Even if you never owned a Nintendo, I know there was that one Christmas gift that you would have done just about anything to have, and this movie is going to remind you of that pivotal time in your life. Being devastated while Christmas shopping, hanging outside a rich kid's house with your neighborhood friends, happy family dinners, owning a Power Glove, playing retro games with your dad, stealing a kid's money.